positivity!
I thought you were going to.
But you know what? I also have, and I want to start like a little, kind of like a positive quote thing. So here is my, what are you doing?
You're a little bit up on the... Go
because
ahead.
I'm going to end up moving, and I'm... Anyways, positive quote of the day. This is what I got. Ready? Read it.
Have you ever heard a crackhead say, I have no money?
You have not.
I'm not going to smoke today. No, they always find a way. Are you going to let a crackhead out-hustle you today? Question mark.
Huh? Huh?
Yes. Are you gonna let a crackhead outdo you? They always figure out. One of the things they said, one of the worst things used are in prisons, what they do to put prisoners in, and it kind of is a little counterintuitive, but it's the same thing. When they get into prison, they all sit around and congregate and figure out what they did wrong, so when they get out, they can not get caught again at their crimes. It's the same with the crackhead. The crooks and everything and dopers and everything else, they figure out a way to do that. A crook sits there and figures out a way to steal your stuff. They're way smarter than you. You can come up with locks and alarms and anything else, but they have more time to figure out how to get around your stuff than you have to protect your stuff. So that's why I say, are you going to let a crackhead, a crook, a doper outdo you? And that's what they do.
Well, there you go. Now you have it. I thought it was kind of cute, though, because I think a lot of people make excuses. And if a crackhead that's not in the right mind can get money, something's wrong. And today's national day is, we're going to go with clean your virtual desktop. When did that become a thing?
What the hell is that?
I think it was a normal desktop, and now they're going virtual?
Wow.
I don't know. And National Kentucky Day. All right, I'm done. You ready?
Did you do the makeup with Stephanie?
Oh, and you picked the Tipsy, the liquid lip oil.
The whole point of this, the subject, and...
We bypassed it. I got a lot going on. All right, where's my jingle palette?
Well, it's a typical Tipsy Monday.
That's sober, and now I'm sad because I want to be like my lip gloss. That's sad when you want to be like your lip gloss.
Yes.
Don't agree with me. That makes me sadder. You ready? Let's go. Oh, wait. No. I did that backwards. I got your dyslexic stuff. Just kidding. You ready?
Yeah. There's that funky slide guitar music that comes in every Monday through Friday, live at 5 on Newswire on... Did we do Twitch?
Yes, we're doing it right now.
Did we do Twitch, Facebook, and...
on YouTube. Make sure you go and hit that like and subscribe button and share us all over your world.
There you go. I got to see what's going on the Twitch thing myself. I don't even think I've logged over there to see what the heck was going on.
Really?
No. Of what... It's a kind of a funny thing over there, new thing. They're really trying to push the talk radio aspect of that. I guess it was a gamer deal, yada yada yada. But
and now we're gonna go and we're gonna take
yes,
over.
we're gonna rule Twitch on that.
We're gonna try with the help of you guys.
No, the first segment. If you go watch our YouTube, we are going to.
We're gonna do it because we're like crackheads.
Yeah. Now you really have to find out what's going on those first segments on that. On a...
Shooting Monday?
Yeah, Shooting Monday.
It doesn't even make sense.
Well, we'll hear in a second. But of that, hair gel is basically telling you that no, you're not getting a vaccine until the 12th of never.
Or a half pass in your dreams.
There you go. And you're not going to... watch,
keep that going.
Watch this. Watch this spread like wildfire. You're not going to believe why the San Diego Unified School District is eliminating grades in there and the reasoning behind it. You will understand it because we brought this out many times on our show. Here's this little book that's been filtering through your schools for many decades that you don't know about and things like it. But On top of that, Dr. Kelly Victory will be joining us in a little bit to give us all the latest updates on COVID and anything else we might bring up on the docket on that for that, because she's well versed not only on COVID or medical issues, but just about everything else. Right?
Very true.
Very true.
I love that girl.
On that. There you go. So, a lot of you have heard, he calls in once in a while. He's my cousin, Dwayne from Idaho. He rolls in. So he was in here today, and this is why we have the Shooting Monday. So we went out to the pistol range today.
They didn't bring me, though, because I was teaching my non-teacher job.
Yeah, so see what sort of neat stuff you get on that. So
who hit that? That wasn't you.
Actually, no, one of the ones I did, but you see the ones on some of the targets.
Oaxaca's is a good place to go. I really like that place.
Yes, you see the ones. Dwayne was even more, because he is a better shooter than I, because he's shot probably 10,000 rounds to I have. But we were working on just some techniques on handguns and stuff. But you see that. Found out one grip that I really like, and I think that's going to do me a lot of good, especially when working with handguns, because it fit my hand real good, and I was a lot more. Even the trigger pull felt much better with it. So. Again, we had a good time out there today. Learned a lot. Working on that. We'll give you some more reports on that.
And that's Shooting with Roy.
Yes.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Maybe we'll make this a series or something for those of you that are interested, or that, because gun sales this year have went through the roof. I mean,
you would think they would, though.
Well,
but weren't they really hard to get your hands on, get it?
Yeah, there you go. No, there's 5 in the first half of the year, first 6 months of the year. 5 million people that never owned a gun bought a gun this year, which is like a world's all-time record. And ammunition prices of guns are going up, just exploded in the general market. So people, for whatever reason, COVID, the riots, the whole 2020 just being chaotic. A lot more people are either changing their minds about firearms. A lot of people that never considered owning one or shooting one are now looking into it. So maybe we'll start making this a little bit of a series or stuff on top of that.
That would be cool. We could do
and we're going to have to bring...
Weapons Wednesday.
There you go. Hey, that's a great one. I love that. We're going to have to bring Matt Johnson in, because we've been out to his place out in Paris, Rennes Sportsman Park out there. Maybe we'll get with Matt on there.
That'd be cool.
He wants us to do a live broadcast, maybe when they do their clay trap shooting stuff. And maybe we'll kind of make this a series or something with Matt or something on that.
And then we can meet up with and do like a women's class for I know a lot of women that want to go out and take firearm lessons and get their CCW and all that. That'd be really cool.
Yes, a lot of people are doing the whole enchilada on that, and again, yes, the whole interest, and it is. And what's really telling, though, is a lot of people, again, that never considered or were even afraid of guns or didn't want anything to do with them, are now looking into that part of the equation. So,
and I think that'd be cool if we can educate them too.
Yes.
Good thinking, Roy.
Wow.
Everybody say good job, Roy. I know I feel like being nice right now. I don't know why. What is
yes,
wrong with me?
Yeah, something's wrong.
Do I have a fever?
Something. You got COVID?
Oh, crap.
Maybe the COVID guy. Well, maybe.
Now I'm going to go out in public and people are going to be like, oh my God, I sound, but I'm like, I don't have COVID.
There you go. Yeah, and it's even official, but
that'd be scary.
We'll get into that subject.
That'd be really cool, though. I think that'd be really neat.
Yeah, we need to work on that. We'll get hold of Matt and see if we can drag Matt in studio in here one day.
And then he can doesn't he do? Well, I don't know if he's doing them now, but he used to do some weekend events and stuff, right?
Yes, that's why I say that.
Rahagas would do the kid thing.
He does is there. I think once or twice a year they have their clay trap shooting contest and other things like that. So yeah, we can mix it up, move it around, do all that sort of stuff. So it was a great. Let's cover this story. A little bit of sad news going on, if I can find it. Of that.
Hit the face with the microphone.
Of that. See, that's what's dangerous about those. But Riverside County Sheriff Sergeant was out on the job and training with his K-9 team. Sergeant Harry Cohen, died Sunday after suffering what appears to be a heart attack while training with the K-9 system. Is a report in ABC 7. It's a short report, so here we go.
Is mourning the loss of a beloved deputy. A message posted on the department's Facebook page says Sergeant Harry Cohen suffered what appears to be a heart attack while training with the K-9 team. Cohen was a veteran of the department and spent many years on the K-9 team. He was described as a well-respected handler and the team supervisor at the time of his death. The Post says Cohen will be deeply missed by everyone who knew him.
So there you go. Condolences to
definitely.
him and his family and that. And again, you just, you never know when your moment is up. That guy, he doesn't look like, he looks like he's probably in his 40s or something like that. For a relatively young person of that too. But you never know when your candle's going to go poof. So live every day like it's going to be your last second. And, because you never know when that's coming on that.
Very true, very true.
So, and again, kind of like the whole deal, if you go on that, don't let a crackhead outthink you of that, like we had.
Yeah, go to the YouTube channel and catch the first couple minutes when we come on, and you'll understand what we.
Yes, and you'll have a better understanding.
I still think. I mean, it's a squirrely way of putting it, but I think everybody kind of needs a little bit of a laugh right now. But it has so much truth to it too.
Sometimes those are the best ones on there. You think you're going to get a vaccine?
You're not.
There you go.
Sorry.
You're exactly right. I've told you this. I think this. It's just a ruse of that, and who knows? In most cases, maybe we'll get into when Dr. Kelly Victory comes on, we'll get into the effectiveness of vaccines and which typically you can expect for some of these things. But hair gel was on the blower today, bloviating about the vaccine. So here's just a short clip of what's going on this. So here we go.
Will likely be limited in terms of availability. Questions abound. When do we anticipate or expect the first vaccines to be made available? There are some audacious stretch goals that you've been hearing that have been advanced out of Washington, D.C. Those stretch goals have been organized around two companies in particular that are asserting the availability of very limited supply of vaccines as early as November and December of this year.
So right there, Gavin Newsom will let a crackhead outdo him. Look at the doom and gloom. You can't do this. This ain't going to happen. Washington, D.C. doesn't know what they're talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Every time this Klondike comes on the air, give me number 4 again, please, a picture of this doofus of that. He's always on the negative side of this. Yeah, and this was what drives me flipping nuts. They do it with me all the time. Oh, you're negative all the time. I'm the most positive person probably walking the freaking planet. I tell you what you can do. It's idiots like this and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Pelosi and Lorena Gonzalez and Sabrina Cervantes and XG and Gutierrez and all these other clucks that tell you what you can't do. So let's get off let's call things as they are. These are the negatives, the slave owners, the plantation owners that roll across your deals. They are the negative ones. We're going to do the San Diego schools. You want to know what's coming next throughout your schools? If you will believe it if you've been listening to this show. If you have not been listening to this show, it will curl your hair on that. These nutcase, left-wing, oversensitive. If you say boo, they crawl in the corner and then castigate you for saying boo because you upset them and their whole world crumbles and blah, 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 blah. Knock it off. Grab some balls for once in a while.
Okay.
Don't. I'm tired of the sissification of the United States and the freaking world. And especially, again, I'm talking to you men. Stop acting like women.
Yeah.
Stop with the sensitive stuff. And blah, 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 blah. We have 50% of the population that can take care of that. We're not good at it anyway. So why should we try? We know we get yelled at a lot for it, but that's just part of the game.
Why are you putting at me? Well,
So-
I'm missing the whole conversation right now. What's
So
happening?
I'm telling you, I'm asking you guys, stop acting like women. Stop with the sensitivity stuff. Stop with the
But some men
feelings.
need to be a little more sensitive, though. In a way.
We do not need to be like women.
Not like women, no. I'm not saying like women. I don't know.
And we don't need to be.
But
And
you know what I think it is? I think a lot of men lost being a gentleman. And I think a lot of women lost how it is to be a lady.
Yes. I think.
We
again,
should give, like, lessons.
I think. Oh, have you? Well, you haven't, but I've been yelled at a few times for holding the door open for women.
Really?
Yes.
See, I yell at my kids when they don't.
And that's the way it should be. The old chivalry, respect between the sexes,
Right.
But you're getting that, you get these nutcases that will say, you're treating, again, like the mansplaining thing, and, you're you're disrespecting me because, what, you think you're better than me, that you can hold the window open, blah, 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 or
Really?
the door open, or whatever. Oh, yeah. And that's the nice stuff. I've been cussed out about it.
Oh, yeah, you get yelled at a lot. I don't know why.
Exactly. I mean, and I think you're right. The blending with the whole thing, and I mean, not that you are what you are, and if you're gay, straight, or in between, or playing both sides of the fence, but this whole thing of it's and this, and you can't call somebody that, and we're gender neutral and all this
Right.
other stuff. You're either a man or a woman. There's only two lines in this thing. No matter well, today I can call myself a woman. Tomorrow I'm going to be a man. The next day maybe I'm something in between or something. That's totally. No wonder people are running around confused.
And I agree with you totally. If you say just the wrong word, even I'm scared to talk sometimes. I used to be really scared to talk on the radio, but you outshine me on that. So thank you.
Well, again, people need examples to look to. If all they see...
No, they do, but why do you think it is that people are so on edge and sensitive?
Because
I think once we figure that out, though, I think
I
then
can
that's
tell you
when
why.
we can...
Because ding-dongs like Newsome
No.
and Biden and Kamala Harris will browbeat you to the ends of the earth and tell you to hate yourself, or you can't cross this line because your skin tone is a little bit lighter shade of brown than this, and you're an evil person, and every wrong in the world, and if you're a straight white male, every evil that went on in the world is your fault, and all this other crap. That's why people get afraid. They don't want to deal with it. They say it becomes, or they think it becomes easier not to deal with it, but maybe at that particular moment, but overall, you're going to wind up killing yourself, maybe not literally, but you're going to die inside of that, and you're going to do that. You're going to get into your cell. I don't want to say anything. I walk straight ahead.
Right.
The homeless people can be blanking in the middle of the street, drug needles all over, and I don't see any of that because I don't want to make any waves or offend anybody, so I just walk straight ahead.
You know what? It is weird when people get offended when you not talk crap, but complain about homeless people living on the streets. Why do they get mad?
Beats the living hell out of me.
But maybe people feel like they need to feel like they're entitled or something.
Possible.
No? I don't know. Brandon writes in that he still pulls out chairs and open stores. He says, yes, please, thank you, yes, ma'am, and yes, sir.
Thank you, Brandon.
Good job.
Of that, yes. Men need to act like men, and women need to act like women.
Stephen writes in, I won't use gender-neutral bathrooms. I believe public men and women's numbers, too, should be separate.
Why are you cracking up?
Or segregated. Because, he's right. But they have the family bathroom. I always go and, take my kids in that one, but...
Well, yeah.
But then, being a mom with 4 boys, I send my kid to the bathroom. At what age is it okay to send your kid to the bathroom by themselves? Like now, my older ones, I have a 10 and a 8-year-old. They won't let me. they won't go in the women's bathroom. I never went in the men's bathroom.
Well, yeah, I would think at least by that. And I mean, I know today's
I
a
stand
different...
outside the door, though, because I'm like, I don't know who's in there.
Today's a different
You don't know
day,
who's in there.
And I guess it depends on the situation.
Where you're at,
yeah, and all that. But yeah, I mean, back in the day, I mean, like 5 years old. But I would think by 9 or 10, you should be pretty much, unless you're just in some sort of a dangerous or something, or, you know, a seedy place or something like that. But you talk about the parks and everything in that. And, you
Hell
know,
no.
And those, yes.
Hell
yes,
no.
Of that. I mean, you know,
not going alone.
exactly. I mean, agree with that. But I mean, if you're at a, you know, a decent facility or
Right.
something at it, or, you know, in
Like
that.
Chili's, I let them go at
Yeah,
themselves.
so that, or, you know, places like the races or Disneyland or,
No.
you know, they're,
I'll stand outside, though.
right, yes, that's fine of that, but yeah.
But like my younger two, no.
But yeah, you know, somewhere in there, I would say in that 8 to 9 to 10 range, then they're going to want to be, you know,
They get embarrassed.
Yes.
They're like, no, Mom.
Yeah, this is, yeah.
Even my 7-year-old gets embarrassed, but he's so small and cute. I don't think anybody would want him.
But no,
It makes me nervous.
Yeah, again, society being screwy as it is, and you don't want to say anything if somebody looks out of place because you're afraid of what the reaction is.
Right.
You know, and then the stuff just kind of propels on each other. Again, give me number four, so I want to run through this. The San Diego schools, I just want to read the title of it first. San Diego Unified School District changes grading system to combat racism. I'm going to play a short clip here. Here we go.
Now, grades will no longer represent a yearly average. Instead, they'll focus on whether a student ultimately masters the material. Also, teachers can no longer consider non-course material factors like turning assignments in on time and classroom behavior into a student's academic grade.
I think this reflects, you know, a reality that our students have described to us, and it's a change that's a long time in coming.
One of those students is Zachary Patterson.
So, on top of that, grades, now you cannot, grades are racist. You cannot grade them because it might be racist or somebody takes it, or you can't factor in the behavior of some kids or if they're doing this or da-da-da-da-da. Where in the heck did we come? It's not on your grades. Now it goes on your citizenship score if you fail a test. Well, what the hell is that? Either you know what 2 + 2 = 4 or you don't. We need to start getting back to that. This, again, just listen to the tone of that, whatever, I don't know, superintendent, principal. Those type of people should not be in our schools. Well, shut up. Tell the kids, either you get it in gear, or you know what? You're repeating the grade again. If you don't maintain a C average...
That's how it used to be.
Yes. Across the board, you know what? You got two choices. You can go to summer school and make it up, or you can repeat the grade over again. Your choice. That's the way it is. Sorry.
See, I get where they're going with all this. They think that certain races don't learn like other races do, but they used to back in the day.
The stuff is in your school.
But by saying that and doing that, you're already putting the students down and already separating them by doing that. Let Timmy be as good as Johnny. I mean, or if not, up the game. If not, do extra outside of school, but don't go around it and make every other student suffer because Timmy just ain't getting his shit together. Wait, let's say that.
Well, we're on YouTube and Facebook, so.
But you know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous.
I mean, if we're gonna let, and if this is going to be the common derelict of the language, then let's start doing this in school. Yeah, get your blank together. You kids want to talk like this, or you're going to talk like this,
like
and
what
everybody
happened to
is.
extra tutoring and all that?
Yes, knock
like
it off.
Soon they're going to separate all the classes by gender, by races, by all of that, and I think that is going to cause so much more damage than just putting them all together and saying, "Get it together."
Yes.
Pick it up. But I think a lot of it goes back to homes. And a lot of parents are lazy. It takes a lot to get a kid motivated. And if they go to school hungry, unloved, not motivated, abused, whatever, they're not going to want to go to school and learn. They're not going to care because they're reflecting what their parents teach them. I think that's a lot of our issue.
10-4.
Carry on.
The last one I want to get to before we join in with KMET on that, going back, this is a Jonathan Turley, and a left-wing Democrat, but very highly scholared, constitutional expert. He's on all over the news channels. He studies this stuff. Chuck E. Todd from the Sunday NBC show Meet the Press was talking about, and it has a California connection, but the Michigan Supreme Court decided that Governor Christie Whitmer did not have the authority under the executive orders to be locking down the state. And the reason this is, and maybe we'll have him on tomorrow because the trial starts tomorrow where Kevin Kiley and James Gallagher are suing Newsome over this exact same thing, and citing the Michigan court ruling that says she didn't have the power to do that. Chuck E. Todd is on with the guest on there of that. Flip up the deal on that. This is what Jonathan Turley wrote. Chuck Todd just said that the Michigan Supreme Court did not cite any law in deciding Governor Whitmer did not have the power. That would come as a surprise to the justices who cited an array of cases in a 50-page majority opinion. They cited over 60 cases, I believe, in that 50-page deal. And your mainstream dominant media is telling you that doesn't exist. This is what the problem is. The New York Times, CNN, NBC, they are lying sacks of crap. And they do not come on before. Even if they would have done that, they don't even put a retraction in on this. He said something that was not only a little bit false, not a little, maybe a tiny bit, not maybe a just kind of small. The Grand Canyon could not contain a lie that Chuck E. Todd said and trying to do this. Now, people that are watching this are going to think, oh, what the heck's going on? This couldn't happen. Oh. Well, no. The guy that's telling you this is lying through his frickin' teeth. And then when he gets caught on it, when the station gets caught on it, or the broadcasting channel is, back in the day, the FCC would have pulled NBC's license to broadcast over this.
Really?
Yes. If they would not have ordered a retraction and probably put this guy on, Chuck E. Todd, on suspension or had some punishment, they would have jerked their, and especially if it had been repeatedly like they do it all the time, but there's no toothing. You know what, Trump, if I was president, I'd be telling whoever the heck the head of the FCC is, I'd be telling them jerk their licenses. This is why. Falsehood after falsehood, they never retracted it. They are not responsible journalists. They're telling you this as news, as fact. It isn't even anywhere close. Like Trump says, fake news. These are, you cannot believe anything practically the dominant media says, and there is nothing.
That is so sad, too. That's why y'all need to follow Newswire and share us.
That's why we're going to rule Twitch. Boom. Yes. No. Of all of this, the racism, grades are racist. Lying through the media.
That's just crazy.
Hair gel telling you, no, there is no vaccine coming because they said the only way we're getting rid of COVID is there's a vaccine, and he throws cold water on anything that's even coming close to that because that's going to wreck his whole world.
Really quick question, because you know everything. Is there going to be another lockdown coming up? Someone had brought that up, that he was talking about going down on lockdown again, like where everything shuts down, like restaurants. But didn't we already pass that? Or
well,
they
were
1 minute, guys. 1 minute.
Riverside County.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie.
They were threatening to do that at Riverside County to put us back in the purple, which would have shut down the restaurants and all that. They gave us last week. I haven't heard of an update on that if somebody's got it.
Wasn't he supposed to announce that today?
He might. No, they usually announce that on Tuesday. Yes. He always ducks it because he makes the Mortician Galley, the head state official, do that because he doesn't want to take the heat or the questions on it on Monday.
30 seconds.
Galley usually comes on Tuesday and gives an update of who's going where on the mind you, there's no green. That's the biggest tip off when he first come up with this criteria.
I like green better than red.
We should
Is
all
there a
be
red?
on
There shouldn't be a red.
All right, guys, here we
that's where
go.
we are now.
Apps. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
There's that funky slide guitar music. Comes on every Monday through Friday at 5:30 on the Mighty Met 1490 AM. KMET broadcasting all over the Inland Empire on that. Joining us on our video and live at 5 viewers on Twitch, Facebook, and
on YouTube. Make sure you go and hit that like and subscribe button and share us to your world.
There you go. You can see us, archive us. We're archived on video.
Oh,
on
and
that.
go to our Instagram page too and like
all that. We are on a Shootin Monday. Ah, you got it.
You said Wednesday. It's Monday.
So yeah, well, it's Monday. What were we gonna? No, what were we gonna call it? Weapons Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's it. I was out. You've heard of Dwayne from Idaho. He's called in. He's been on the show a few times. We were out at Mike Rahagi's good shooting range, Rahagi's, something like that. See, I never did do that. Shooting some handguns, getting back into the shape of that.
These are nice.
So yeah,
I like these.
Yes, and we're going to talk to Matt Johnson.
And they have these there to purchase?
Yeah, you can get targets. So yeah, of that. You can.
Yeah, they all do, huh?
Maybe we'll come up with some.
Really nice ones.
Maybe we'll come up with some for Ren's shooting ranch like that with that, and give them to Matt. So he can. That way he can have, because I don't think he has any ones that are like that on the that'd be a neat deal for his.
Can I have these?
Yeah.
I want these for some.
So we were out there and working on tuning back up on the sharpening up on the skills a little bit on that, and
I'm
maybe
go paintballing.
And well, they have a paintballing facility out there too, right?
Do they?
Right.
They
well,
have one
around the corner. I don't know if it's part of theirs, but it's around the corner of there out there by Rahigi's.
I haven't been out there in a long time, but I think they've redone a lot. I had bought my dad a gift card to there, 15 years ago. It was a long time. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. Never mind, I don't want to talk about my history anymore.
No, it's
really nice place though.
But yeah, it is. You've got that, but two of the things, and we'll highlight some of that stuff, and maybe we'll, since we talked about early on in the show. 5 million people in the first 6 months of this year that never owned a firearm purchased a firearm this year, along with record gun sales and ammo sales and everything else going on this year, because 2020 has just been upside down, sideways, and everything up but straight up on that. That we covered a hair gel's announcement that you will never, it looks like you're never going to get a vaccine. On top of that, grades are now racist. San Diego schools have determined that grades are racist and you can't grade anybody, and a whole bunch of nonsense going up. This has been in your schools for a long time, and it's not going away. It's going to get worse. And you can expect what's going on in San Diego School District to be spreading across the school district, coming to you, especially if you're living in California. And then, as I've said, do not let the cancer of California spread across the other 49 states. But, as we usually do, we have, as I have determined, the foremost expert on medicine in general and COVID in particular, because in my view, I have not found one thing that she has predicted, said, or anything else that has not been 100% accurate in this whole nightmare that's come across us in 2020. But she's a trauma surgeon consultant to major corporations, probably the top physician in the world, at least in my view.
I second that.
Dr. Kelly Victory, welcome to IE Newswire with Stephanie and Roy.
Hey, you guys, it's worth being on the show just to get these unbelievable, great introductions. It has to hold me for the whole week, all of these accolades.
Yeah, but they're well deserved, and I meant every word of it. The hair gel just came out with the whole deal. And I've said, people come up with, they do it with me all the time. They do it with Trump. They probably do it with you. Oh, you're always negative about everything. Da, 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 da. No, we are the most positive. We are the ones telling you how to get out of this. Leave it alone. Don't worry about it. Yada, 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 yada. Not 100%, but I mean, with that, hair gel said, we're not getting rid of COVID until we have a vaccine. Now he's throwing, at his press conference today, he's throwing cold water on ever getting a vaccine, which means the signal, if you break it down in my world, you're never going to get rid of this. These executive orders are going to stay forever, and that's just the way he sees it as long as he's in power in California, Dr. Kelly.
Well, I'll tell you, I found this latest statement from Gavin Newsome to be really, really perplexing. After all of this, he came out and said, quote unquote, he said that the safety, quote unquote, of a COVID-19 vaccine that's been FDA approved, that California is going to, quote, review the safety. Now, for the love of God, please do tell what regulatory body, what review body, what group of scientists is he holding in his pocket in California that is going to, quote, review the decision of the FDA? I mean, truly. So at this point, for months and months and months, we've been hearing, well, until there's a vaccine, until there's a vaccine, until there's a vaccine. Now that we are on the cusp, and we can talk about whether it's safe or not, or a good idea or not, but we are, virtually on the cusp of having an FDA-approved vaccine, likely within the next several months, if not, in the next month. And Gavin Newsom's talking about, no, they're going to decide whether or not the FDA approval is good enough. I mean, it's preposterous.
100%. I mean, I'm thinking, okay, you bring up an absolutely great point. What agency or experts are you hiding? And if you have all this information, why are you not feeding it to the Food and Drug Administration, which approves all these vaccines and drugs and everything else for all 50 states, Gavin Newsom?
No, so he said they're going to. He's going to create a new group of physicians and scientists who are going to work with the California Department of Public Health that will, quote, independently review all of the FDA-approved vaccines. So is this only to be for vaccines, or are we going to review other medications, maybe antibiotics or antihypertensive medications, or maybe we're going to review medications that have been FDA approved for, arthritis? Where does this end? So now apparently California is going to secede from the union with regard to accepting the FDA's approval. Now, I'm not saying I don't have my issues with the FDA,
right?
But the point is, once something is FDA approved, it is then up to individual doctors and individual patients whether or not they are interested in taking something. Once it's approved, and the FDA is the regulatory body. It's no different, Roy, than saying, well, yeah, we know that the Supreme Court said this, but California's going to review the Supreme Court decisions, and we'll decide if we're going to follow whatever regulatory body decided. The FAA decided this, but California is going to decide if they're going to follow the FAA's rules. I mean, they are not their own nation, unfortunately.
I wish you wouldn't have said that, because if the night circus gets wind of this, I wouldn't put it past them saying, well, we don't care what the Supreme Court says. We said.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that at some point, if California wants to secede from the union, they can absolutely petition to do so. And if the people who live there and pay taxes there are interested in doing that, then that's something that maybe we should discuss. But until then, right now we have federal agencies that are regulatory agencies that control these sorts of things. And it's not up to Gavin Newsom to decide to appoint a separate group. Because I'll tell you, physicians like myself who have California medical licenses, it puts us in a quandary of, to whom do we answer now? Are we following FDA? Is it an FDA-approved medication, or does it need to be both FDA-approved and Gavin Newsom approved?
And that brings up a point that flashed in my mind. And you said, if the FDA approves it, then it's between you and your patient what they want to talk
Right.
it. Well, can California just all of a sudden decide, okay, COVID vaccine that just was FDA approved, you cannot give it in California?
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Who's calling the shots here? We've never done this, and frankly, I don't think this would stand up to a constitutional challenge because I think it's very clear that the FDA makes these decisions. But it puts all practitioners in a real quandary because if Gavin Newsom were to say, no, we don't believe that the FDA-approved vaccine is actually safe because our newly created band of physicians and scientists, maybe fake Dr. Barbara Ferrer will be on it. Maybe we can get a bunch of fake people to be on it. But truly, if you were to opine that any particular drug or treatment that the FDA had approved is not also approved by their group of people, what are physicians to do? Truly.
And that's what does me. I mean, the last thing I want is my physician to be hesitating about anything. Or, well, I don't want to suggest this because maybe I might. And that's what it sounds like we're coming to. And our hospital system's been turned over upside down over this whole thing. Anyway, we don't need more of this kind of blank.
Stephen writes in and wants to know how much is all this going to cost?
Well, I would like to know how much they're setting aside of taxpayer dollars to form this new group of physicians and scientists who are going to independently review all federal FDA-approved vaccines. If you think about it in this way, you know, one of the arguments, whether you are pro-life or pro-choice about abortion, is that if we make abortion illegal in certain states, then it puts people in a position where they then have to flee to a different state or try to avail some sort of back alley procedure. And that's therefore why we have a federal regulation when it comes to abortion, for example, rather than state by state. Now, what Gavin Newsom is doing is exactly that, saying that if somebody wants to avail themselves of a COVID-19 vaccine that somehow has been outlawed or isn't approved in the state of California, people then need to flock to neighboring states in order to be treated. And that's precisely what Democrats have fought against with everything else. They said, no, it's not fair to, once something's FDA approved or government approved, then everyone should be able to access it. Apparently, unless that's something that Gavin Newsom doesn't want you to be able to access, like a COVID-19 vaccine. So it's absolutely hypocritical because when it's come to other treatments, they have said no. The FDA and has said, or the Supreme Court has decided that it's been approved and that it's the law of the land. Well, if it's the law of the land, then let it be. Under what jurisdiction does California or any state have the right to be have their own regulatory body or review body that would determine that an FDA-approved medication or treatment is not available in that state?
We covered a little bit. Chuck Todd was talking about the Michigan decision where they said the ding-dong governor over there didn't have the executive authority of that. And I didn't get time to cover it in our first segment of going on, but I'll do. I think it's important because he said, no, there was no precedents or anything cases that did that. And the Michigan court cited, I think, 60 in a 50-page deal of that. And there's no retraction. But it has an implication to California. Because Wednesday, the Kylie Gallagher trial is going to start, questioning the executive powers of Gavin Newsom and all this stuff. And if it's framed like that, if the Kylie Gallagher decision goes their way, I think if there is savior in California, or we're going to turn this around, or we're going to strip Gavin Newsom of this terrible reign of power trip he's going on, this is going to be it. But if the vast majority of the people are just hearing the lies and they're never hearing a retraction from NBC, Meet the Press, whose head guy is up there telling a complete freaking lie about that, and not even saying, no, we made a mistake, I didn't know what I was talking about, just like, oh, that didn't exist.
Well, I will tell you that what we have seen truly in calendar year 2020 is the most egregious examples of government overreach that I have ever seen in my lifetime. And I will tell you that I think many of them would not stand up to a constitutional challenge. Right in the state of California, Roy, you've got Harmeet Dillon is at the lead of a number of cases that are being brought against the governor for many, many things, lots of them related to the COVID-19 response. But it's everything from whether or not the governor has the ability to use an emergency declaration act to shut down churches, but not not the Home Depot, to shut down certain retail stores, but not marijuana shops, to shut down to really depict winners and losers, to continue the lockdowns of schools, despite the fact that the evidence is replete that kids are at no risk, to shut down, to make mask mandates, to be arresting people on beaches when there's no one else around and they're out surfing or swimming, to try to arrest and shut down people who are worshiping open air in a parking lot, singing hymns. The number of things, the number of events that have happened over the past calendar, 6 months have been so stunning. You really, when you look at it, if you made a montage of them, you would not believe that they happened in the United States of America. You would think that these were happening in some sort of dictatorship under some totalitarian government that is not anything like the United States, maybe China perhaps, or Cuba, or under some other really repressive regime. But the number of these affronts are too many to count now. And unless people start pushing back, and unless we start taking these to court, I think we can't, there'll be no return. We've got to push back. We've got to say, no, you have so far exceeded your authority that it's laughable.
Vicky writes in, I want out of California because to buy medical insurance through my work, it would basically eat up my whole paycheck. Which I want to get to the broader aspect of this, and I don't know if we've ever talked about it, but this has always been my theory on it, or why, not really theory, I think the way the world works. But if we went back to more of a free market-based medical way, where in most cases for everyday stuff, everybody paid for their stuff, you had catastrophic insurance. If you got cancer or something, or you had a big medical bill, they covered it, right. Yada yada yada. Where if you went to your physician, okay, you do this, okay, that was $20, $50, $100, da 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 da. Drug prices were, if we had a free market on drugs availability, the price would be 50%, 75% less than they are now. And when government gets to it and gets to, as the utopia of the single-payer plan, you're going to pay, as I say, 3 times as less for 1/3 the service. What do you say, Dr. Kelly?
Oh, I agree entirely. Frankly, to take the 100,000-foot view of all of this when it comes to health care and health insurance, Roy, the issue truly is that insurance as a construct makes sense if you use it to cover, the idea of insurance is to cover those things that are not predictable and not routine. If you look at any other form of insurance, look at homeowners insurance. Everybody has to have it. You can't get a mortgage if you don't have homeowners insurance. But your homeowners insurance doesn't cover mowing the lawn, repainting the house every 5 years, or cleaning the gutters. If it did, it would be astronomical. Same thing with car insurance. Car insurance, you have to have it. It's by law. Yet when you pull into the gas station to fill up with gas, you don't pull out your State Farm card. You pull out your credit card, because gasoline and rotating the tires and oil changes aren't covered by insurance. If you wanted a bumper-to-bumper program, they'd happily sell one to you, but it would be astronomical. So that's how insurance works. It's to cover those things that are not predictable. Somewhere along the line, we lost it with health insurance. and thought, oh, health insurance should somehow cover soup to nuts, everything from my mammogram to my pap smear to my, antibiotics that I need to every single routine thing. And therefore, the cost went up and up and up and up and up. And someone decided along the way that they'd make a list under Obamacare of all of these required things that have to be covered. So here I am, not of childbearing age. I have to not only have maternity coverage, but I have to have pediatric dental. I mean, it's insanity. So if I buy it in Obamacare, because these are things that are required. And you have to have the same thing, Roy. You have to have maternity care.
Yes.
Okay? Because that's what's quote unquote fair in the minds of the people, the ditzes who coughed up this hairball. So, here we are. The thing that truly what we need to go back to is what I had when I was growing up, which was called major medical, that you insured yourself against that big, bad, awful thing that could bankrupt you, whether it's the cancer, the car accident, whatever it is, the bad thing that could really bankrupt you. But the routine things, just like routine things for your car or your home or anything else you insure, those things you pay for out of pocket. And what would happen as a result is those things would go back down to a reasonable cost, and insurance would go back down to a reasonable cost, because that is what the concept of insurance is all about.
Well, maybe since I'm paying for it with all this gender stuff, I'll just declare myself a woman and walk in there and say, I want a maternity leave because I think I'm pregnant.
Can you have a baby?
Yeah, I
Can
guess
we have
so.
a baby shower?
Yeah, so that, because I guess, with all this crazy stuff that's going on, it about makes as much sense.
Well, I'm going to identify as something that needs a 6-month vacation.
Yes, there you go.
You deserve it, Dr. Kelly.
And that's about, and that's the bad thing, is that's about how nutty our society has become.
No, and so truly, if I care about the one thing, the thing I truly care about is people being able to avail themselves of health care when they need it. But that has nothing to do with health insurance. And right now, anybody can get health care. It's available. We have all kinds of programs for people who don't have insurance. Physicians aren't even able to ask if you have insurance. If you go to the hospital, you will be treated. There are no two tiers in how people are treated. I don't know, as a physician, when you come in the door to my ER, I have no idea if you've got Cadillac, Blue Cross Blue Shield, or if you are indigent. I don't know, and the way I treat you is the same. What we've got to do is stop giving people this idea that because you have insurance, you therefore shouldn't have to pay, $20 or $30 or $50 to take your child to go see the pediatrician or to go yourself to get things done. We've always paid for those, just like we do for our cars and our houses. But we ought to be incentivizing people to do those things that matter. If you think about, take my same analogy. If you drive your car and get 5 speeding tickets this year, I promise you your car insurance will go up. If you build your house in a floodplain, or you live in an area that's prone to forest fires, or you refuse to put in, an alarm system, I promise you, you will pay more for homeowners insurance. So why, if you are morbidly obese and smoke cigarettes and don't work out, shouldn't you be expected to pay more for health insurance? Now, I'm not talking about things you can't control. I'm not saying if you have a pre-existing condition or if you come down with breast cancer, but I'm talking about those things you can control. So insurance is meant to be stratified. Trust me, if you take up skydiving, see what happens to your life insurance policy. The cost will go up. So in every other form of insurance, we stratify based on the risk of that individual. We do it with life insurance, homeowners insurance, car insurance, every other insurance. But for some reason, we've decided that with health insurance, we shouldn't do it, or we can't do it, or that's somehow repugnant. Well, we're now living the dream, which is that people can't afford insurance, and so the entire system is collapsing.
There you go. Time flies when you're having fun. We'll do it again next week, Dr. Kelly.
Thanks, Dr. Kelly.
Sounds great. Take care, you guys.
Bye.
Of that.
And stay tuned for Roy's baby shower.
Yeah, so that,
This just
I get
in.
6 months out, paid vacation, maternity leave, and all that other sale, yeah.
Shoot, maybe I'll go get knocked up. I'm just kidding. My floor's enough. But I do want to... Never mind. That would be cool if you had a baby.
Yeah.
That would be...
Yeah, I'd probably be a multi-billionaire if that actually ever happened.
Why?
Well, yeah, would the first man to have a baby.
No, there was another dude that was pregnant.
Oh, come on.
I'm telling you, it was a while. I remember watching it on the news. I was like, how is this possible? I thought it was cool, though. I'm telling you, it can happen. But how much would it cost to have to put all those parts inside of you to have a baby?
I mean...
would any male out there actually want to do that?
No guy or gal doing the surgical thing. I mean, just biologically from that. No monkey motioning from the human types.
What? Where they cut you open and they put it.
I know that, yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I mean, I'm talking about nobody that's had any surgery done or anything. Yada yada yada.
Oh no, I'm saying would any male out there want to sign up
to
have a baby?
Is that actually possible? If you actually had the surgery done and be transformed from a man to a woman, could you actually get pregnant? That's a good question.
You can.
You can
put some ovaries in there. You put all the parts in there.
I'm
going to look it up.
Has medical science progressed to that
There
point?
was a guy. I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to have it tomorrow.
Till Taco Tuesday. We're gone.
Oh, well, that really fits.